Peace, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of My Quality is Fulfilled. I am your lovely host here, Queen My Quality. I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend and enjoyed your time off with your family. If you celebrated the holidays, I have a very special guest today. She's actually a returning guest. This is going to be her third time on this show. Miss Alene Banks, aka everybody's favorite, aka Angel God. We are going to have a good time. We always have a good time every time we get together. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to Queen My Quality on YouTube. Check out Think About It Thursdays. Check out My Quality in the City. Check out Did You Know? And of course, check out My Quality is For Real. You can also find us on Anchor, Spotify, Radio Public, Breaker, anywhere where you can watch a podcast. You can definitely catch me. Also, be sure to like and follow on Facebook and Instagram. My quality is real. I have a few great things lined up for y'all. Cannot wait until you're able to see what I have in store. So we're just waiting for Eileen to connect. Again, I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. There's been some crazy things going on. You definitely know that we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the things going on in Dallas and this vaccine, all this crazy stuff that's going on right now. We're definitely going to get into all of that. Give it a few more minutes to come on here. All right, here she goes. Hello. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good to have you back. It's been a minute since we sit down and chop it up. How's everything been? How you been through this whole pandemic and everything?
It's had its ups and downs. I went a period of time without income, shut down because I was at a salon at the time. But a lot of good things have happened this year, um, as well as like a lot of up and downs happened this year. So it's
Okay.
it's been, you know,
Yeah, I think it's been like that for everybody. For anybody who has not or just tuned in or not familiar with My Quality is Surreal, I introduced you at the beginning, but I'm gonna introduce you again now that you're on here. This is Miss Alene Banks, aka everyone's favorite, aka Angle God, aka this is not a safe space.
Southern Belle. Southern. I
Podcast
know I got a lot of
host.
AKs.
Yes. So the last time I interviewed you, I think that y'all had just started the podcast. So tell
We
me,
did. We had just
yes,
started the
yes, yes, yes.
podcast, and
So how's
now we
that
have
been
been going
going?
strong. Oh man, doing a podcast is hard, bro. um, but it's so rewarding. It's so good. I love doing it, but it can be very challenging. It's been a very challenging year for us, but been a very prosperous year for us. So we've had a lot of different transitions, but it has made our grind stronger, and we have grown as content makers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a good thing. But yeah, no, I don't. I like to tell people that it's hard, so that they not like, look, it's hard, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's rewarding, but it's hard. People don't like to tell people that things are hard, but I'm gonna tell you, like, it's hard. It's not easy to run your own business or to create content and put it out on a regular basis. Especially when you are funding it yourself, it's a very challenging thing to do. But if you have something that you're passionate about and that you want to do, I would encourage you to just do it anyway. but
Absolutely.
it's
I'm still learning that as far as, I'm glad you mentioned that as far as it being a business because I didn't go into it with the mind frame of it being a business. You know what I'm saying? Now
right,
couple of years later, it's like, oh, okay, there is some money in this. Okay, people are really actually
right,
getting rich
yeah,
and living off of this. Okay, let me do some more research. Let me, work a little bit harder, And it is challenging. It gets to the point where, like earlier I'm gonna say the middle of this year before I moved, I was at a point where like I really didn't want to do it no more. I'm not even gonna lie.
really.
Yes, like I
Oh
I was
wow.
at a point where I didn't want to do it anymore, but I kind of, talked myself out of it, obviously, and just kept pushing. But what I messed up is I didn't really take a lot of breaks. Like I'm gonna take a break. I got a few. I'm gonna finish out December, and I'm gonna take a break and kind of build it up a little bit more.
Breaks are very much needed. Anytime we have to go back to the drawing board or revamp something, we just don't put out an episode. Like just it is what it is. I like the way that we just drop them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of how our show goes. We're gonna try to streamline it more, but like right now, we just focus on getting out the quality content, and then we let y'all know when we drop, and we have like consistent listenership. Like we have people that do consistently listen, and then you know we network and do things with different people. Then we gain new listeners. So that's always a good thing. That's always fun to gain new listeners and networking with like other podcasts and different things. But you got to take breaks. We've had to take even when we weren't planning on taking breaks. We're always transparent on our show about what goes on with us. Like when we have to switch production, like and just the woes of going through that and
Mm-hmm.
different incidents that we've had along the way. We've just been very transparent with our audience. The way the podcast is like a way of therapy is, it's kind of like this is not a safe space. So we kind of just go into the show and we just leave it there.
Right.
Especially me. Especially
So
me. Like I kind of
I think that you like real transparent anyway. That's just your natural, you real blunt and transparent.
yeah. Yeah. So I kind of just like having it that way. I
Mm-hmm.
like being in a situation where I have the chance to just say what's on my mind and speak my mind. And it's my platform. It's the, you know what I mean? I pay the
It's your
money
baby,
to
pretty much. Like
record.
you said, this is your art. This is what
Yeah, it's my
you're
art.
sharing with people.
I'm very, very passionate about my art. So, um, it's been a very, very long learning experience. Like I learn something new every time. We put out an episode every time. Like we have to make certain changes. The way that I like to handle guests and how I like to book things out and just being kind of like just really handling it in such a way that it makes the guests feel like this is a business and that we're serious about it because we're still not at the point. I know you had started like charging for guests once you got with power. We haven't started charging for guests yet, but that is something that we want to grow to because the baby has to start making some money for itself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it's definitely just the way that we do things now have grown. Just the way that we want to market it is a little bit different. So like
Mm-hmm.
there's a little revamps. Some revamps we don't stop everything for, and then other revamps we stop everything for because it's just like I gotta make sure this is taken care of. So the money has to go this way. So y'all not gonna get an episode. We sorry,
Right.
but you know we gonna come back with some fire, some heat. You know what I mean? We're gonna come back with like just different, better content. For
Right.
you guys. So it's fun. I get to have all my friends on my show and we get to chop it up and talk shit.
Absolutely. So
You know, I get to
speaking
promote people's businesses and just kind of do my part in Dallas of just being somebody that, like, yeah, you know, come shop it, come, you know,
of, I'm
say
talking.
your shit on my show. Like, you know, come pop your shit, you know, talk about your business, talk about things that you got going on. And also, you know, like just chop it up with us. Just co-host our show with us. You know, let people see your personality and just kind of, we just kind of go off cuff on the show just the whole time. And it's always a good time. Never know what we're going to talk about. And I think that the show flows more easier that way for us because that's
Mhm.
just kind of how we are. You know, my co-host is a Leo. So,
Shout
you
out
know,
to the Leo.
it's a Gemini Leo combination.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I keep the Leos around me. You had Rajay, you popped my best friend's podcast, Cherry.
Absolutely. She did a really good job too. She did a really
I
good
love the
job.
show. I really love the show, but I'm not gonna lie. What I loved most about that show was just the constant love I got through after the show. I was just like, oh my
Absolutely.
gosh, I love you. Y'all made me cry. Like I wasn't expecting it. I really was expecting it to be totally about Rajay, but I was like really like I was like, oh, I love that anytime she has a chance to say anything, she's plugging my shit. And I appreciate that. I appreciate it so much. Cause you gotta plug your friend's shit.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. That's what it's
You,
about.
yeah,
So speaking
you
of
gotta plug.
talking shit, I wanted to get your take on, the whole True Kitchen situation. I know that
Oh my God. So,
everybody has been, talking about it.
okay.
And how do you feel? Do you feel like the owner was wrong, or how do you feel about that whole situation?
Hold on one second.
Oh no, you
Okay. I'm just changing rooms.
no, you okay.
Um, but anyway, so here is my take on that.
Mhm.
Um, the entire, it's, I have a mouthful to say, and I'm just trying to preface how I say it. Like normally, I don't be giving a fuck, but I feel like this is like an important. There's a way to say this that I feel like is also important. The way that I say it because I don't want to be misunderstood.
Mhm.
Normally, I don't give a fuck about being misunderstood, but in this particular case, I do. Um, how he handled that situation was completely unprofessional. As a business owner,
Right.
you see what I'm saying? Like as a business owner, and just somebody that's in the service industry, it's just completely. I don't really give a fuck what person was doing what. That's not how you handle that situation. If you feel disrespected, you like, okay, she's standing on my furniture. I've asked them a number of times to please quit conducting themselves in this manner in my establishment. I'm just gonna ask them to leave. You know what I mean? What you don't do is disrupt the other guests by giving this fake ass speech about respectability and women needing to respect themselves and different things of that nature because you didn't do this for your culture because
Mm.
your culture includes all of that. You see what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Your culture encompasses the good and the bad. That's the fullness of your culture. The things that are popular about this culture comes from that element of the culture. It comes from the riffraff. We want to be clear. Like if we want to be really transparent about it, that's where it comes from. So
Right.
you can't say that you did this for your culture. You didn't know. You did this for the vanity that comes with it. You didn't do it for your culture, or you wouldn't treat them in such a manner. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's just be clear. This is supposed to be an upscale environment for your culture. That means that they're included in that. So
Absolutely.
you're excluding them from it, and it's a elitism that comes with that. And a lot of people usually aren't ready for that type of conversation. You didn't do it for your culture. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily. That's not necessarily particularly the type of environment that I want to be in. I don't necessarily always want to be in an environment with riffraff either. But I don't go around lying and saying that I'm doing things for the culture and then they're not included in that. They
Absolutely. And
can't come to that.
my thing is, if like, I think that the DJ, like, why would you even play that if that's not the type of
But
environment that you?
it's not the DJ's fault. It's not any of that. Because I've had a number of conversations with that, but mostly private conversations, like not nothing really on a platform like maybe Facebook. On my brother's status, I really haven't been too active about it.
Mm-hmm.
But um, me and my brother had an interesting debate about what's particularly upscale and what's not. And, you know, we both have different feelings about how upscale is interpreted of how that relates to our blackness and how people view upscale as white, and their expectations of upscale is Eurocentric. And so and at one point in time, I think he felt like I was coming from a Eurocentric vision of what upscale is, and it's just like, no, that's not the case. But he did make a very good point, and I kind of want to reiterate it, and kind of, even though I didn't disagree with his what he was saying, I agree with his point.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe that "Throw That Ass in the Circle" is an upscale song.
Right. That's what
I
I'm.
believe that if I believe that if you're trying to get the certain, you know, if you don't want certain types of activities going on and in that type of environment, you know, you're a restaurant. But you're a restaurant having a brunch with a DJ. So like when you bring a DJ, it's not a live music set. Like there's just kind of different things, like when you kind of go out in social settings and kind of the things that you know about that line of business, you kind of know how to maneuver. Not having certain actions go on in your establishment that you don't want. You see what I'm saying? And so hip hop is popular music, even though it's hip hop, even though it's rap, even though it's our cultural music and it has its own subsector. The way, since we set the trend, the popular music right now, you know, pop has taken on many forms. Pop used to be rock and roll back when we were doing what? Rock and roll. Pop at one time was country back when we were what? Doing country. Anything that we decide to do in the 90s, pop music was R&B music. As you know, we all set the trend, so we really actually get to say what is upscale.
Right.
So I agree with his point. We could say if we wanted to that "Throw That Ass in a Circle" is upscale. But if we're just gonna be clear, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie the Mouth is upscale. That's an upscale ass man. Yes, that's an upscale nigga. But that particular song, it's not. You're feeding these people these alcoholic beverages, a whole Douce bottle,
And then you play
Douce slush,
a local rapper. With
and then
everybody.
you're paying a rapper that 9 times out of 10, a lot of them then shook hands with. You see what I'm saying? Like, they done shook hands with. This is a hometown hero. You right in the center of Dallas. So yes, they want to throw that ass in a circle. You there was somebody that was particularly there that day that said that they were having trouble getting their water filled.
Mm.
They was there when the incident happened, and that on that same day they were having trouble getting their water filled, but the alcohol kept coming. And so, like, it's a busy establishment. It's brunch. You got your DJ. Your DJ's lit, and you didn't have people come over there and tell them to quit twerking. Okay, it's a restaurant. It's not a club. You don't want them dancing in here. That's relative, because I love when people always want to make it seem like, oh, they're going to say, well, if you went to Del Frisco's or Truluck's or Capitol Grill, you wouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z. This lets me know that a lot of y'all proximity to whiteness is non-existent because you will realize that drunk ass white people act the fool.
They act
Uh,
most fool. They act
they act
real
up,
fool.
okay, baby. They dance, they do whatever the fuck they want to do when they drunk, okay. And you know what a restaurant owner does? They just, if they get too belligerent, if they get too out of hand, um, and out of the vein of the conduct and that they deem acceptable, you know what they do? They just put that motherfucker out. They just put that motherfucker out.
Mm-hmm.
And after they put them out, they may not even tell them that they're not allowed to come back. They may just put them out, but they're just gonna put that motherfucker out the restaurant. Like, and it's not gonna be,
Have to
a
stop the
big
whole
deal.
music and stop everybody because what if these people over here
Right.
didn't
Like,
catch
cause I'm
what
just
was going
like,
on?
if I wasn't over there twerking or whatever, and I'm talking about, well, what the customer could be doing could be a turn off for other customers, and it's gonna be a turn off for customers who don't mind their goddamn business. Like, because what somebody else's table have to do with, how is that turning you off?
Right, as long as it's
They
not
don't
over
have no
here on my
control, just like they don't have any control over you as a guest and how you conduct yourself. They have no control over somebody else. So why would I penalize a business owner for the type of customers that they're treating with basic human decency? You see what I'm saying?
right.
So if I've had to repeatedly I would have told them, look, so what I'm going to do is, you don't even have to worry about taking care of the meal. You had the meal on us, but what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to exit, and please do not come back. Because I'm not gonna keep telling you to not stand on my furniture. I'm not gonna keep telling you to keep down. I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. See, when you handle adults like you're an adult, and you don't try to handle adults like they're children, then you don't have to worry about people recording you in ways to where it's gonna look, now it looks bad on you, and you want to release the footage of you going around to the three tables in the corner, and it's like, well, he should, like, no. Well, they shouldn't have been standing on his furniture. Okay, they shouldn't have been standing on his furniture. You're right. You're right.
You got that.
But they did. But they did. Okay. They did. Like, the level of comfortability that you felt because you are a black owned business and your patrons are black is for you to cut the DJ and now chastise your restaurant. And I don't care if he chastised the particular corner. It doesn't matter. This is not school. You are not a teacher. Yes, this is your business, but no, sir. Handle
Put me
things like
out.
a business owner. Put them out. It's not personal. It's business. It's not personal, but you don't know that. You don't even really know the demographic of what actually frequents that area or what area is close to that. You don't know. You just wanted it to be a nice upscale black place for black owned business for what? First to come to
As
eat
if
brunch and
black
drink Douce slushes.
right, as if black people who own businesses can't throw that ass in the circle, or they don't listen to that type of music, or that if they do
Right.
do it, then that means that they're ratchet, or they. No,
But
we
to
come
be
to my
honest, before this incident, I had already made a decision that I probably wasn't going to patron that business because I saw a post that they did on Facebook saying that they implemented a dress code. And I don't particularly like to, share things and have a whole discussion about it all the time. So I just pick and choose what things I share, and I just kind of protect my peace now because I know that if it really just bothers me, I'm going to talk about it on the platform that I have now. And I just don't really feel like arguing with people um, on Facebook. I just don't have the desire to exert my energy like that. I have too much shit to do. So I don't really necessarily share it, but I was in the group that we have in Dallas for the black owned restaurants.
Mhm.
And I remember seeing that he had implemented a dress code. And I'm thinking to myself, see, this is a restaurant. Why do I need a dress code for a restaurant?
Hmm.
And I read some of the comments and I still was just like, I don't give a fuck what they came dressed in.
And then when you think about it, the real upscale restaurants,
They don't have a dress
they don't have
code.
a
Their
dress
first
code.
class
You
doesn't
just
have a dress
go
code.
to
Morton's doesn't
come.
have a dress code. And it doesn't matter what then people come in there wearing. They could come in there wearing a shoestring, honey. They're gonna get sat.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna get sat down and they're gonna be treated with a certain level of service. And that's just gonna be the end of that. It's not gonna be a dress code.
Hmm.
So because it's not going to be a dress code, it's just, it's going to be what it is. So there's no absolute reason for it to be a dress code.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like if let's say I'm running errands and I got on my furry slides, you finna tell me I can't go eat in the middle of my day of running errands around the city? I can't stop at your establishment and have something to eat because I have on furry slides?
Right.
Because those are the type of slides that I decided to put on today. Like, that's the type of shit that's in your dress code. Like, so no, like you're being discriminatory. Dress codes are anti-black. Period. You're being discriminatory. And I just don't understand, like, you feel like you're keeping a certain element out, but all you're doing is attracting that element to you because you're working so hard to say what you feel like is a respectable customer. When really and truly, if they're not going to be a consistent customer, they're not going to be a consistent customer. And although all money ain't good money, you're being discriminatory based off of like appearance. You're like the discriminatory based off of cultural things like dancing, to a type of dance. Like, it's not you're being discriminatory against the behavior of you're coming in here causing a disruption. And no, and it wasn't such a huge disruption because the DJ's jumping and everybody seems to be having a good time. But you're coming over there and you're stopping their good time. Because what it appeared was everybody was having a good time. It does not really appear that whatever little dancing they were doing was disrupting the other tables around them. But I could be wrong because I'm not there. So let me just say that. I could be very much wrong. I was not there, so I don't know for sure. But it didn't really seem to be that way. That they were just causing such a huge disruption to where you needed to cut the music and act like you're the fucking uncle of somebody and try to tell grown folks what to do. Because baby, I would have been sitting there and I would have been eating my food and you would have cut the music and you would have did all that hollering. I would have finished my food and I would have walked out
Because
since
you
you
don't
didn't
need
need my
our
money.
money. And then you don't say
Since
stuff
you don't
like
need my
that
money.
too.
Like, and that's my thing. Like, if they were being disrespectful and belligerent to your staff, that's by all means, I feel like that's an appropriate time for you to get out of character. I don't feel like it's appropriate because you're upset about them standing on your chairs. Their chairs. Their chairs. Like, no, you don't want them to tear them up. They chairs.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't ever go down to the point to where you're arguing with them about some fucking chairs. You're a business owner. You don't argue with customers. You just tell them okay.
And get out. If that's like
You
you
tell
said, that's
you give them the you know what I'm saying? Like you give them clear expectations. This is not acceptable. I we apologize. Unfortunately, that's not going to be something that we're going to be able to do.
mm-hmm.
We're just going to go ahead and take care of your meal today, but we're just going to have you leave.
Right.
Like, handle your business like an upscale establishment would.
Absolutely.
Handle your business. That's it. Like, handle your business. Like, a professionalism in any industry is important. It's important in the industry that we're in. It's important in any industry. Professionalism is important. Handle your business correctly.
Mm-hmm. It is important. Yeah.
Treat people with respect. And if you're we're always sitting over here and we're always want to talk about how people, like, I'm not gonna necessarily say don't go to Truths. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I chose not to go to Truths because I don't like that. And I'm not gonna go back and forth with no owner about respectability politics. I'm not going back and forth with black folks about that at all. But I can already tell, like, you're not ready. You're not ready. You're establishing it. I'm Even though I am black, I'm not a part of the clientele that you're deeming acceptable for your business.
Mm. And that's okay. Everything ain't for
And
everybody.
that's okay.
It's a
That
lot of
doesn't
different places.
I'm not that doesn't mean that I don't support black business. And I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
tear another business owner down, but we don't our values don't align, and because I'm aware of that, I don't need to be in your establishment. That's cool. Eh, it don't take nothing away from that.
Right.
It's just with this incident, this didn't stop their business. This, a lot of black people that align with his line of thinking and feel like his behavior is okay is in there. And they'll see it'll be other incidents, because again, that's just poor customer service, and I'm in the service industry. So no, I'm sorry, but you're not gonna be able to handle me like that. And because I can already see that you don't render good service, you're the owner. So this thing started at the head. I've been in situations where I have worked at establishments where the leadership was not correct, and it would trickle down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have to lead those types of businesses, because if the leadership, it starts at the head. If that shit's not together, then the rest of everything else is not going to be together. And it don't matter how good your staff is. Your staff could be impeccable, but if that head ain't together, it's not going to work out. It's not
Right.
going to run smoothly.
I
Shit is gonna be difficult. Your staff, some shit is gonna be. It's not going to run smoothly if the head is not together. Your staff is gonna be unhappy. It's gonna be a lot of miscommunications. It's gonna be a lot of things that's not working correctly. It's gonna be people not getting paid because their head ain't together. Now I'm not saying that his head that far gone. I'm just saying I didn't work at the businesses where the head went together,
right.
and it's gonna trickle down into all the other areas of the business, the
Mm.
day-to-day stuff, because the back end, the professionalism and all that other stuff wasn't together.
Right.
And I'm also, I my other thing that I feel like I'm rambling kind of, but I'm just kind of saying things as they come to my head, though, like just different points that I kind of just want to make sure to touch on, because I had so many different things that came to mind
Mm.
thinking about the situation at Truth. It's just, I hate that black people, especially black women, are always getting the short end of the stick on how people feel like they can disregard treating us with the same level of service that they would treat someone else of another culture.
Right.
Because I feel like I think I said this earlier in what I said was that the level of comfortability he had is because he's a black business owner, and his clientele that he services is mostly black. Is the reason why he even felt comfortable enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then but I feel like that in all spectrums, not just black business, but all businesses. Um, I worked at a dry bar
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, and we had the issue with the mask, people not necessarily wanting to wear their mask. And I mean, there have been white women out the kazoo just acting a stone cold fool about wearing masks up over their nose, and no one has ever even gotten kicked out, while the manager and the assistant manager is there. A black lady comes, I'm on my break, um, and she ends up getting kicked out.
Mm.
Like, the cops called on her because they're canceling her appointment because she didn't want to pull her mask up. When I've literally seen you being cussed out by white women. So I ended up walking out that day. Like, it's been a year, girl. Like, I done gone through. So, like, how I feel about the treatment and the level of service that we deserve, I feel like we deserve the same level of service that when we
Anybody.
go to work, we got to give other cultures and the
Mm-hmm.
same level of service. So regardless of what I'm doing as the paying customer, I deserve the same level of service that you would give to any person.
Mm-hmm.
And innately in our minds, it just doesn't, I don't care what anybody says, you being black, you growing up, especially out here, you being black and growing up out here, anybody that been growing up out here, anybody from out here especially,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you worked in the service industry, okay, and dealing with white people, you it's automatically, you don't even realize that you're doing it, but you are automatically having ingrained in you to suffer the way that you approach them in difficult situations in order to de-escalate them, so you don't what lose your motherfucking job
Yep.
unless they are completely hostile, like and I mean like really hostile to you to the point to where you can't take it, and you know you all, everybody has their own set of what they can take as far as hostility and what they deem as hostile. But I'm just saying, when they hit your threshold of hostility to where it's time that you're going to give it back to them, or you really are just decided that it's worth losing your job.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, we have a very, very high tolerance for extreme levels of disrespect, extreme levels of aggressiveness coming from them and other cultures when we're in our field of the service industry.
Right.
So that I know that if you've ever even worked in the service industry at all, you would never handle one of them like that. You just wouldn't. So
Mm-hmm.
why would you handle us like that?
Right.
Why is it okay? And I feel like in any culturally run business, I feel like it is always okay for them to make us, the people that they hand the worst level of service to make us the example of what's not going to be tolerated in
Right.
their establishment. And
While
I don't like that.
tolerated from other races.
Right. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I'm tired of black women being made the example. Why the fuck we got to be made the example? Why? That doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
So, like,
Absolutely.
those are just all the things that I just thought about um, about the whole true kitchen incident. Like, those are all the different types of feelings and just different levels of consciousness that they broke up and brought up, and the different things that it made me challenge as far as my way of thinking, and just the things of like, why is it okay? Like, why is it okay? I don't feel like I would have felt the same way maybe, 8 years ago or when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because I hadn't lived enough life yet. And I was all about, I ain't gonna lie, I used to be the poster child for respectability politics.
Mm.
I grew up Southern Black Baptist.
Likewise, same
You know what
here.
I'm saying? But you grow, like, as you grow into yourself and grow into understanding people and like really just kind of getting to know, I feel like the more self-aware you are, the less you are kind of on respectability politics, because you kind of just look at it like everybody have their own um level as to which they have grown through their own personal process as far as like spiritually, mentally, or what have you.
Right.
And so you you kind of handle people differently as you grow, especially in those areas, especially spiritually and mentally and emotionally, and being emotionally intelligent about things. You
Mm.
have a level of understanding as to why people may operate the way they do, and how a lot of the things that people do have absolutely nothing to do with you and to them. Like, I didn't take what he said personally, but I didn't like the fact like black women don't need to be the focus of, well, most of the people that come to my restaurant are black women, and if I'm gonna tell black men to respect themselves, then I gotta respect. Like, first of all, everyone should be respecting themselves because they should have a level of respect for themselves. Um, that should have nothing to do with black women respecting themselves.
Right.
You should have respect for yourself because you have respect for yourself. You should operate in that because you hold yourself to that. Your growth and your personal growth should be focused upon you, because you only have control over you. You only have power over you. So what somebody else is doing should not limit or increase the respect that you have for yourself. That doesn't make any sense. So
Right.
if we're gonna break that down, they don't make no fucking sense. You should have respect for yourself because you respect yourself. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should just be something that you bare minimum have for yourself, and it shouldn't be something that is someone is basing it off of anyone else. You have autonomy on your own being.
Right. I agree. You said a mouthful.
So yeah, nah, like I just, so I hate when but we live in a patriarchal society where it's deemed okay, and women get the brunt of, well, you know, a man, you got to give a man something to respect. No, I shouldn't have to give him anything to respect
You
because
should
he
just
should just be a
respect me
respectable
because
person.
I'm a
That should
human.
that should be in his character.
Mm-hmm.
That should be in your character. My actions should have nothing to do with how you hold yourself accountable and what characteristics, like what your character is. That has absolutely nothing to do with me and everything to do with you. So I don't, I didn't take what he said personal because that's what that man is going through.
Mm-hmm.
But I do look at it like, you can't tell me that twerking makes somebody less respectable. In your mind and how you frame it, you can feel like that's how women, decide to get attention. You can frame it however you want to with your opinion in your mind. That's how you see it. I don't have any control over that. But that doesn't necessarily make it accurate. Some women may be doing it for attention. You may be accurate on that end because that may be exactly what some women is doing.
Right.
Or some women might be out here, this is their jam, this is their song, and this is how they turn up, and this is how they like to have fun. It's not, twerking is not a reason why you shame a woman or try to act like she's less desirable as far as how she should be protected, or less desirable as far as her moral capacity or anything, because it has absolutely nothing to do with that. Even if they twerked in the restaurant, if you want to call them riffraff, if you want to call them X, Y, and Z, if you want to call them this, the particular crowd that you're looking for, and they're not meeting what your guise was, and the type of Black people that you deem acceptable.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just call it for what it. Be transparent about that. Call shit for what it is, but don't make it seem like, oh, because they don't respect themselves. You don't know them to know whether they respect themselves or not. You're making a generalized assertion because you want to have a way to exclude people, and that's fine because you ain't gotta be for everybody. But
Absolutely.
be real about it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to know your take on that. I know that you have interesting takes, and I know that that's been a big thing going on, especially like in the Dallas area. So yeah, but
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. But like you said, everything ain't for everybody, and if it's for you, then go. If not,
Right.
there's a lot of different places that is have a lot of respectable Black people in there, and they still twerk and they still have fun and they still and they get
Mm-hmm.
up and go to they still get up in the morning and go be a boss. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily mean
Right.
we don't know that woman what she has.
People have layers to them.
We all have. That's the great thing about our
People
culture.
have layers to them.
Hmm.
And so, and everybody isn't just one way. You have to like really know somebody in order to peel back all the layers of them. Everybody's not, you know,
Absolutely.
they have different aspects to them, and they have just a lot of different things going on
Right.
in their own lives that affect the way they process things. So, and everybody has a different life experience. Nobody is living the same life experience because nobody is looking through life with the same lenses.
Absolutely.
Everybody's a different person. So, um, everybody's realities and on certain things aren't the same. So,
Absolutely.
the
I agree.
viewpoint, yeah. So like, we can agree about things, but our exact vantage point and viewpoints aren't going to be the same because it's impossible. We're
Right.
two different people.
I agree. I agree. Who do you have for the Keisha Cole and Ashanti versus battle? Who do you want to see? Because that them together, that was like a real big, I guess, for our generation.
Um,
I love Keisha Cole.
so I didn't want to sit them together.
You know, but I don't know. I don't with them
I
too.
didn't
I
want to.
don't.
I just didn't. If it makes sense, like I just don't think that that's a.
That's a good matchup.
So Shanti can sing and live, and Keisha Cole. I but I mean, like Keisha Cole has good song content.
Hmm.
I also feel like Ashanti wrote more of her music and has more of a discography on that end as well.
Oh, see, I guess
Uh,
I didn't know much about Ashanti. I didn't know. I didn't know that. I never heard her sing live before.
oh yeah, no, she sounds good live, but she also wrote a lot, like
Okay.
a lot. Sorry, girl, one of them was like stuck together, and I got to pull it. Trying to fix it, but yeah, Ashanti has written for other people too, but she wrote a lot. She wrote a lot of her own music. And she sounds good live. J Lo stole a lot of his music too. So,
Oh, never knew that.
girl,
I
yeah,
didn't know.
that's Ashanti's music, girl.
I didn't know. Okay, well, it's a lot going on in the world. I'm glad that again, thank you for taking time out of your day. I had to bring you back. You were the second person I interviewed. Back on my couch.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
yes.
So much has changed. So much has
A lot
changed.
has changed. Both of us has really like leveled up and the growth. From the first
Yeah,
time
it's
we met to now.
amazing.
It is.
I, you live in New York now. Like, how is that?
It's different. It is. It's totally different, but I love it. I love it. It's been a beautiful experience. It started off a little challenging. I had a few challenges at first. Just leaving everything that I knew for the first 30 years of my life to something totally different. But I love it.
Yeah,
I was able to fortunately, I was able to kind of adapt a little quick. I got a job and I'm learning my way around the neighborhood. I lost a few times, but I'm adapting to the transportation and all of that, and not having to drive and riding the bus. And it's different, but I love it.
okay.
I love it. It's totally
Okay.
it is. It is.
I mean, changes is good. It's good. Sometimes I can admit I don't really like change all the time, but it is good. Transitions are good because you can't grow without the change, and you
Absolutely.
can't get better without a change. So, much as I am not a huge fan of change. I don't like things changing when I like them and I've gotten comfortable. I've kind of just learned to like roll with the punches
Right.
because
Because
change. If I didn't go once I get comfortable, that means it's time for a new level. So I just need to go ahead and get ready for whatever change is
the
coming.
way my life is set up, though, like my life can change like that. I've been through a lot of changes, so I think that I've learned to kind of just, in a sense, just adapt and pivot real quick, and
Yeah,
cause
yeah, it's all going.
yeah, it's definitely. But I love it. I enjoy it. I just was there and I visited my mom briefly. I came for a few days and came back, and it was good to see everybody. It was good to be back in the city. It definitely was. It was.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. So that's it's always good to see family when you haven't seen them in a while.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Especially being that you went from seeing them kind of probably pretty often to like now you don't see them like at all. So
Yeah,
um
we
you
definitely a close
based
knit, real close knit family.
yeah, so I bet that was fun coming home.
It was. It definitely was. Well, girl, I
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad that you and Shar y'all are doing y'all thing. I'm proud of y'all for sticking with it. You know what I'm saying, and just the growth. And I'm excited for what y'all have in store. And again, I'm excited just for the connection, being able to connect with one another. And through you, I've met a few people like your girl Rajay. I always I end up almost messing up her name.
Most
Rajay.
everybody her Shay.
Yeah,
I'm probably the only one who calls her Rajay.
but
I think
just being able to meet people
her,
like that and network.
yeah. Yeah, nah. It's crazy. 'Cause I just recently had Elle, the world's homegirl, on my show.
Okay, shout out to Elle.
I had to work with her for a while. So yeah, I had Elle Michelle on here. Shout out to her. We had such a good time on on my podcast. Um, I always have my sister on there. I call her the problem child. She has her own boutique in line called Gold Digger by Law. No, actually, it was Gold Digger, but I think it's Lamari Connections now.
Okay.
And
And I follow
if
her
you
on
look,
Facebook too.
yeah, so definitely uh, kind of have kind of like just started networking with like different people, and they kind of just it takes off, and it's like it blesses me like all the time. I always complete somebody is always blessing me with something, interview like this, or just connecting, being able to connect with other people, to network with them and kind of do creative things with them. It's always a blessing. Like I'm always grateful and thankful for the camaraderie that we had and we formed on Kismet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm always grateful for that, because um, it kind of catalyzed all this that was going on. So um, I kind of like, I did that, and then I met y'all, and I started wanting to do more things creatively, kind of just,
Mm-hmm.
boosting my confidence back, to do stuff like this. So now that, like I host the podcast, and just, do the things with that, in regards to like our website, posting, trying to, get interactions and
Mm-hmm.
just different things. It's been it's been learning. You really did say that I was the Jill of many trades, and
Yeah, and this right here will teach you like, yeah, it's real.
yeah,
It's definitely
yeah,
real, and you need a team. It's good that you have a team and some people beside you and behind you that's able to kind of you can piggyback off of them and y'all can work together. That's really important.
and it is definitely important to have a team. I don't think I can stress that enough. Um, to have a support system, especially like when you're doing this. I have friends that are always consistently, you included, always reposting my stuff and sharing my content.
Hmm.
Um, People who consistently listen to my content. People who agree to be guests on the show, like you've been
Hmm.
on the show. Once we figure out how to do like a digital set, because we record in the studio, so like once we figure out like how that's gonna work as far as like sound wise,
Hmm.
um we we want to be able to do digital guests like that, so we could like have you on in case you come back home for to come chop it up with us in
Right.
our new
Absolutely.
setting, because you came and chopped it up with us when we were still recording on our phone.
That's and that's the beauty of it because that's like now when we're able to fast forward and see
Yes,
how.
we long way, a super long way from where we started, because we used to record on the phone. So like we're just having that growth. Like we have our own website now. Just they just came and swooped and took some money up out my account. um,
I'm
we
working on it.
record. So we record every other week. We try to. If we aren't able to, that means just something happened in our lives, and we just kind of, we drop it. I always now listen to the show so that I can name them more. Like everything, kind of like we do just different things that we want to revamp and kind of like add, want to make streamline. It's a whole process um, that goes through it. But we have a good time, and we unapologetically be ourselves and have crude, raunchy humor and probably a little attitude. Look, it's probably a little problematic too, you know what I'm saying? But I don't believe in really taking anything back. We said what we said.
That's the
You,
beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the
yeah,
the beauty of it and being
that
authentic.
if you don't, if you don't like it, you just don't like it. It means that you're not going to be a part of our audience. We can't be liked by everybody. I said I was everybody's favorite. I didn't mean like I was everybody's favorite person. Like everybody loves me, but everybody's favorite. I'm your favorite person to hate. I'm your favorite person to love. Either way it goes,
Mm,
I'm your favorite. You see what I'm saying? Either way it goes, I'm your favorite.
mm,
Um,
I like
either
that.
way it goes, either way it goes, I'm gonna leave an impact. So you're not, I'm thankful that you took a listen. I'm thankful that you took the time out to listen to me. And I'm thankful that whatever we said on the show created some sort of dialogue. Hopefully it made you laugh. Hopefully it lets you take a breather out of a chaotic time. Maybe it was a platform for you to promote your art and do your stuff and pop your shit. You see what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe it was one of those types of different things for you. But either way it go, like we don't do the podcast for vanity reasons. I really just wanted to do my part as far as being a support system to creatives out there. Like you got some cool, dope, ill shit. Come fuck with my show and
Right.
share your cool, dope, ill shit with my audience. You know what I mean? And hopefully you grow your audience. You know what I mean?
That's the whole point.
Um, so that you know what I mean? Like, and it not being a situation where you gotta have somebody stamp, um, you know, that people always want a certain type of stamp. You don't have to have no certain type of stamp to be on this show. You just gotta have good dope content. Like, I just gotta think your shit dope, really.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe I might not think your shit is dope. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Char might think your shit is dope. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, because not necessarily for everybody, but still, it's you have a platform to promote your shit, and you have a platform to defend your shit,
Right.
what have you. You know what I mean? And we have a platform to hold you to the fire if that's something that we feel like we ever have to do. We have a platform to just pop our shit, and we're gonna do what we want to do, and it's not a safe space, but it's a space for you to come. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
a space for you to come. It may not be safe. You know what I'm saying? We may have all the guns blazing. You know what I mean? It may
Right.
be a war zone space. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't
Come.
nothing wrong
You know,
with it. Ain't nothing wrong with
put yourself in the fire, or you know what I'm saying. It could be it could be whatever you want it to be. We didn't just now found a name for the listeners. Elle actually gave it to us. She said Runaways, and I actually really like that. I think that's a dope name
it. Okay.
for, the podcast, since it's not a safe space. So like the Runaways, like you run away to the show. You know what I'm saying? You run away about what the fuck we talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's your little hideaway for the day.
I
you
ain't
know,
mad at it.
or
I'm not mad at it. Well, tell the people where they can find y'all, where they can, your Facebook, all of your social media handles.
don't find me on Facebook because I'm not gonna accept your ad. Facebook is like really for my family and people that I know. I'm like, you can find the show page. This is not a safe space, and follow and like it. But I will probably will interact on that page only. If you add my actual personal Facebook, I will not add you. That is literally strictly for people that I know.
Mm,
Um, I feel like a social media. I should have social medias that's strictly for them, and then things that I want to market, a
right.
whole bunch of marketing. But my Instagram is at Phantoms Air. It's at PHANTOMHEIR. That's my IG. Also at Angle God if you want to check my photography. I'm not really shooting right now, but you can still check out my art. It's at ANGLEGAWD. And then the show page is at This Is Not a Safe Space podcast, all lowercase letters, all spelled correctly. Um, on IG. And then the IG has the link to where you can listen to the show and things of that nature.
Mm.
If you ever want to contact us and you want to give us feedback about our show, or you want to send us a letter that you want us to read on our show, you can send it to at This Is Not a Safe Space podcast at gmail.com. So that's how you can reach us. That's how you can fuck with us. That's my IG is something you can fuck with me on, and I'll actually talk to you on there. Um, but yeah, that's where the people can find me.
Okay, girl. Well, thank you. It has been good catching up with you. Again, thank you so much for blessing me again and coming back on. Of course, as we grow, this ain't gonna, we gonna come back a lot of times. We're gonna continue to connect and build, and I appreciate you and I see you and I'm always support.
I always love coming on your show. It's always a good time. We
Thank
always get
you.
like a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely enjoy talking to you. Definitely enjoy chopping it up with you. And I wish you all the success out there in New York. Can't wait until we pop our shit again. And when we're able to get different things, we'd love to have you back on This Is Not a Safe Space. Come pop your
Absolutely.
shit with us.
Absolutely. I would love to. I would absolutely love to.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we will talk to you soon. Thank you guys so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Peace.